Hello budget people, and welcome back to another episode of Cash Confessions. Since I shared my own confession, I have been sent the most heartfelt confessions I've ever heard. Cash Confessions is a safe space where we can share our worries and fears in regards to our finances. So guys, how are you? Today, the question we are going to be asking is, should you share your income with your spouse? As usual, if you haven't done so already and you'd like to be kept up to date with all my future videos, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you are kept up to date with them. This episode will be downloaded for the podcast, so click on that link, go over to the podcast, subscribe, download, all of that good stuff, guys. And yeah, let's get into this week's video. The reason why we are going to be discussing this topic this week is because I came across an article from Newsweek. The title of the article states, "Woman forcing husband to sign a contract before lending him money." And I won't go into detail as to how it happened. I will link the article for you down below if you wish to read it. But yeah, the thing that stood out for me, guys, was the fact that in the article it stated that the top 3 types of financial infidelity reported by those surveyed were secret purchases, which is about 31%, hiding debts or accounts, we've had a couple of those, nearly 29%, and lying about their income. 23% of financial infidelity occurs because someone withholds their income. I'm in shock. I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually in shock. I can't fathom going into a marriage where I don't know your income. Like, how did that not come up? How is that conversation not one of the first things that you talk about when you are looking to build a life with someone? Let me know what you think down below. So much so, in fact, that I went over to Reddit because this is what the article stated, that this was a Reddit user who spoke about this fact. And I did a little bit of research myself and I found this thread, guys. It says WIBTA. It's an acronym for something that I won't be saying over the internet. If I don't tell my wife my income. I'm 31 male and my wife is 29 female. So I recently got married and we decided to keep our finances separate. I own a real estate brokerage and make around 1.8. He's lying. How can he make 1.8 million pounds a year? You make 1.8 million pounds a year and you are asking Reddit for advice? I also own an apartment building and after the loans, I make around 700k a year from that, and own 2 small businesses that make a combined total of 400k a year. If I had to guess, I'd say my wife makes 80k. I don't want to tell her what I make because I don't want it to change anything. We live in a 2-bedroom home, spend less than 50k a year and live frugally. I'm afraid if I tell her, she will want to spend more money. I told my friends about this and some said I should trust her and say what I make. I haven't lied, we just haven't talked about it. Wow. I'm gonna have to put my phone down because there's a lot to unpack in that one. Even though it's a short one, guys, it's a shorter one than we had for the last couple of weeks. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there. I'm actually gonna start where he says he's making 1.8 million pounds a year, guys. I don't have a lot of money. Nowhere near what this man earns, but for me, just from my experience, I feel like people who have wealth, who have serious cash coming in, they always seem to be the tightest. Is it just me who thinks that? But I don't know, this isn't the first time I've heard this. I've heard of millionaires who literally ration out hot water to their children and their wives. They all wash in the same bathtub, so to speak. It's crazy. So he's not short of a bob or two, guys. He has been making £700,000 a year. from his apartment buildings that he has mortgages on, but even after the mortgage, he's taking over £700,000 a year. He also has businesses. He's got 2 businesses that he's getting £400,000 a year from. And his poor wife makes 80k. She makes 80k. Now, before we go any further, I want to know, what is the breakdown of the bills? If he's paying all the bills, let's be honest, if he's paying all the bills, I probably wouldn't say anything. Because, you know, let her have her 80k then. Let her live on the 80k, budget the 80k for her. But if this is 50-50, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. That wouldn't be happening. They live in a 2-bedroom house. Now, listen, he hasn't mentioned any children, so I don't think that's bad. Me personally, I always said this, but maybe it will change when I become a millionaire, guys. I'll let you know. But I've always said that if I was to earn or come into a large amount of money, I wouldn't buy a 10-bedroom house. Listen, I'm being serious when I say this. People laugh at me when I say this. I'd buy a house that would be able to fit, you know, me and my children comfortably, you know, maybe a spare room here or there. But I wouldn't be buying no 10, 9, 11 bedroom. I just think it's unnecessary, because at the end of the day, I've got to heat that place still, and it doesn't make sense to have, you know, a crazy amount of rooms. But there's 2 of them. Surely if they were to have children, or maybe they were to have relatives over, they could do the 3-bedroom, maybe 4-bedroom house. I think he is being, as he said, frugal in that regard. But, you know, it's not terrible. At least they're not... Imagine if it said it was a 1-bedroom. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. I don't think it's terrible that they're living in a 2-bedroom home. His fear, which is probably a fear of most men. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. A fear of most men is that their wives will spend more money. Irregardless of whether they know the income or not, wives tend to spend more money. That is the fear that men have. But I think it just depends on who you marry. Like, as I said to you, these are things that I would have discussed. I would have had a conversation with my spouse or impending spouse to be. I would have had a conversation about this before I decided to even discuss marriage with them. Like, what are we gonna be doing? How are we gonna live? This is why you have marriage counselling. And then clicker is that, guys, he has told his friends. His friends know. His friends know about this. Some of them have said they wouldn't. Oh my gosh. What is going on? What is going on? I don't know. I'm really stuck on this one. It has really made me question what it is like out there at the moment in regards to marriages. Do we take marriage seriously? Is there things that are just a given that you don't discuss with your partner anymore? Is it just a given that you don't tell your wife or your husband how much you earn, how much you're spending, how much you owe in debt? Is it just a given, guys, that this is the world we live in now? Is this normal? I mean, back in the day when it was the norm that the husband would go out to work and then the wife would be at home with the children, tending the house, most of the time men would give their wives a, I don't know, maybe a stipend or a little bit of housekeeping to keep the house running. They wouldn't probably know everything about bills and what's coming in and what's going out. They would just be given a sum of money for them and the children, and that would be it. So I suppose this is a new thing where we are, as wives and husbands, you know, joining incomes together, both of us working at the same time. Therefore, because that is happening, it isn't the norm anymore for the husband to be the provider and to pay all the bills and to worry about all the finances. I just think that if you're gonna do it 50-50 in terms of work, in terms of, you know, running the home, in terms of looking after if you're gonna do all that 50-50, then why stop at this point? Because for me, I'm old school. I wouldn't care if I didn't know how much you earn. As long as I said in the beginning that I don't have to worry about anything. If I don't have to worry about how much the light bill is or how much the gas bill is, if I don't have to worry about those things, guys, I don't care. I don't care. You can earn 50k, 100k, but don't tell me to turn off the heating. Don't tell me to turn the heating off, and don't tell me that I can't have a bath and I've got to share the same bath water as my children. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me. Now, because, as you know, my marriage was not a success, I think it'll be better to get some proper advice from somebody else. So I've looked into this a little bit, guys. What would be the ideal advice to someone in this situation? I think sharing your income with your spouse is needed, especially to build trust and to strengthen your relationship. It could also help with the financial planning, like if you want to buy a home, you want to send your children to private school, or you want to have children altogether. Those are big decisions to make that both parties need to be aware of every single thing that is going on. And I just think that being transparent about everything, finances, health, issues, triggers, problem, whatever, being transparent altogether in marriage is just needed, guys, because you're only going to have issues later on down the line. Like, look at this guy. He has been married for, I think, a couple of years now, and his wife doesn't really know him. She doesn't really know what he's about. If she did know that he earned 1.8 million pounds a year and he's making her live off 50k, that would make me look at that person differently. That would make me side eye that person. I think it comes down to the fact that why do you not want to be honest with your wife? You say it's because you think she's going to spend more money. What about her has shown you that? Why do you think that is a definite? Is it just based off assumption? Is it just based off a predetermined idea you have? I mean, where is this information coming from? Because the fact is, she's living quite comfortably on £50,000. So why would you assume that she's going to do this? I mean, it would be really interesting to see what would actually come from being open and honest and finding out what is really going on. Because for all you know, it may seem like she's coping well on 50k, but she might have hidden secrets. She might have hidden money. She might have hidden debt. You don't know. You're only seeing it from your lens. And I suppose maybe she could also be hiding things, seeing as you are hiding such a massive secret and she has no idea about it. I think we have to think, how would you feel if the shoe was on the other foot? As usual, chime in, let me know what you think. Is it normal to hide your income from your spouse? Should we be telling our spouses everything that is going on? The details, the nitty gritty, how much we earned, how much we spent, how much debt. Is this an old fashioned ideal that I am just trying to push that really has no use in society anymore? Let me know. I'd be really interested to hear what you have to say. But yeah, guys, that is all for now. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, I don't know why, but please click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you are kept up to date with all my future videos. And yeah, guys, do not forget to go over to the podcast and download the extended version of Cash Confessions Extended. And I will speak to you next week with another one. That is She's on a Budget, signing out.